This video is brought to you by Scopic.com. Get yours now.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is Phil from Untitled.com, and this is a MacBook Pro 2016, or just a MacBook Pro, since it doesn't have the suffix with Retina display anymore, because all the lineup of the MacBook series now does have the Retina display built in, hence no need for additional naming convention. Alright, so here is the one with the touch bar. There is, however, the one without the touch bar, and this is a 15-inch model with the higher end i7, 16 gigs of RAM, 120 gigs of SSD drive, and it does have a massive battery built inside. There's a lot of new features, but of course, the one you're wondering so far is the touch bar. But the catch here is the one without the touch bar only has two USB Type-C and the Thunderbolt 3 port. So if you are a lot of peripheral guy, which you have to since it only has a USB Type-C, and one is going to be occupied for charging. And here is the charger, and unlike the previous ones, they have given up the MagSafe. That means you will not have that fancy magnetic chop kind of charger, but you will have to adopt into more generic, boring USB Type-C ports, and they will drag your MacBook down if it trips with the cable. So Mac is no safe anymore. Well, they're spelled differently, but anyway. And here's a little packet, your usual suspect. I'm not gonna open that. And those are all the things that are packed inside of packaging, and that gets me asking, maybe if you're selling something that expensive, you should throw in an adapter for USB Type-A or a Ethernet, or at least an HDMI or SD card reader. Whichever of one of those should be included, maybe, but I guess everybody else is fine. So I guess it's just me. And here's the MacBook Pro, and just like the smaller MacBook and the new iPhones, it also comes in space gray, and this is sort of say the default color of the MacBook Pros, and here we go. And what got me surprised was it's actually a lot better looking than I thought. With all the hardware updates, their CPU, RAM, and their storage, and everything's got updated. The design and the weight and the thickness is also the part that got a massive update. Now this is up to 70% thinner, this is lighter, but what got me surprised was also the display. So if I just take this protective sheet of cover off, you will see a DCI-P3 enabled display. That means you'll have more colors available if you're a graphic designer or video editor. And to support that, it's got 130% faster graphics and 67% brighter. And this is simply just a better display overall. And also they got the new keyboard. Now this is the second generation butterfly keyboard from the smaller MacBook, the MacBook, and it's the second generation, but it's quite noisy. When I heard that from the YouTube video that went viral, I wasn't like, it's just a keyboard, it can't be noisy. And it's quite noisy. It really is noisy, so that's something that you really wouldn't like to. So I can just type in my password to get into my MacBook, or you can use the new Touch ID that is hidden right there along with that touch bar. So this touch bar is something that you have never seen from other laptops. Well, there are some similar approaches, but nothing quite noticeable like this one. So I can make the screen brighter with the toolbar there, or I can just change the volume there, or I can just expand that further to use it as a normal function key. And most of the first-party apps, as I see right now, support the touch bar, so I can just get into Safari, and then it's going to show me all of these neat little icons over there. I can just scroll them. And the motions look extremely smooth. That's because it's also got an independent processor built in. So they are connected, but this isn't part of the OS X, but it's running on top of the ARM processor separately built in right here. And your fingerprint is also stored in somewhere else within that chipset. Of course, not everything is too great. There seems to be a little bit of Wi-Fi issue. It doesn't have the SD card slot. It's even missing the HDMI port. So you will have to get a lot of dongles or converter adapters, whichever you want to call them. And the Apple logo doesn't light up anymore. They got rid of that part. No SD card slot. And interestingly enough, they still had the earphone jack, unlike the iPhone 7, which was, courageous and revolutionary. And when asked why they kept the earphone jack, the Phil Schiller answered that it's because of the professionals, but they got rid of the optical output on the earphone jack, so I'm not sure if that's professional, but there are issues, talks, and ideas going around. But what I can say for sure right now is that the Touch ID looks amazing, and the touch bar looks pretty cool. surprisingly enough. Although I was never a fan of MacBook, I never had one since 2006. That was the last MacBook Pro I've ever had. But this looks very, very interesting. Maybe I'm gonna get one for second generation for myself, but not sure yet. For the review of this guy, I'm not a PC guy, so I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, but if that happens, it's not going to be me, it's going to be someone different. Not sure what's going to happen, we'll let you know, we'll keep you posted. Until then, you can meet us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and this was the new MacBook Pro 2016, that's how they call it. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys later. Ciao.